All right, welcome back. It's been a minute, over a year, I believe, since my last video. It's been a rocky year, that's for sure. I actually had a few payouts in April of last year, first time ever. I was on cloud nine, I was trading six PAs, and I was up. And then it all went downhill. I crashed and burned. And I lost my way ever since. Recently, I finally sort of figured it out, been taking it easy. I've kind of traded a different strategy now where basically one or two trades a day, which helps me not really, obsess over the markets, helps me do my other real job, and then just periodically look at the charts and take one or two trades. And usually with the setup, I can get 20 points, which is easy, like $400 on an account, which is great if you can consistently do that. So let me quickly break this down. What we did today, or in yesterday's trading session. I'll trade the 6 p.m. to 6:15 Eastern opening range breakout and the 9:30 to 9:45. So this was yesterday evening. Technically, this today's Wednesday session. We basically had a range, and I'll always wait for the 15-minute to open, uh, or to break. So we had a break here. This 15-minute, it broke, and I will wait for a pullback. And usually I'll draw the Fibonacci's from basically the low and the high, and I'll look for a pullback to, you know, uh, anywhere between the 60 to the 30% mark. Anywhere in there is fine. And then what I do on that, once that happens, once the 15-minute breaks, I will then just watch the 5 minute. And typically for a pullback, I want to see at least two red bars. But in this case, because it came back to the pretty much the ideal zone, I then jumped to the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, all I'm looking for at this point is basically a pullback, a second sort of lower high, but attempt to keep going lower, failing, and also seeing this on the RSI, and I'll take the long basically. Now, in this case, because it kind of already had a high here on the 5 minute, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to take it. So I just wanted to, take my base hit. And I can't show you because it always gets rid of my executions before the next day. But I literally got the top here, and it was a solid 13-point trade on this one account. Uh, I would have been stopped out if I would have held, or if I would have missed. And if typically I would go for at least the high, the previous high. But in this case, because the 5 minute already kind of rejected this area, I said, you know what, take my base hit. It's 7 o'clock. I don't really want to trade much more. So that was a good trade. Then we fast forward to this morning. We'll turn on the other, just have the same, have the same indicator, just different settings. Fast forward to here. We had our open, which was our opening range, which was massive, 390 down to 230. Absolutely crazy. It's just been the nature of the market lately. And we again waited for the 15-minute to break it. Once it broke on the 15-minute, I'll watch it. I'll draw the Fibonacci once it starts to return. So here we see on the 5 minute, comes down and it starts pulling back. And now here, again, I was kind of conflicted because as you can see, I took a trade. It wasn't two green candles for the pullback on the 5 minute, but it came back into the zone. Now this here, I would say not 100%, but again, I was on the job site, I was looking on my phone, and I kind of saw one try, another try to keep going higher, which it did. And the RSI was kind of showing a small divergence. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait this out. I almost took this trade, but I really wasn't feeling confident on it. So I waited a little bit longer. And then once I saw that it tried to push up again and rejected, now at this point, I was going to wait till it breaks the 9 EMA. And it broke it here. I got in a little late. I believe this, yeah, I was in like the 200s. It chopped here. It actually went into profit quite a bit. I was up almost $300, but my take profit was down. I wanted to go at least one zone. So these zones are standard for this indicator. Typically, this would take my take profit. I wouldn't wait hold to here. It's just, I wouldn't have the nerves for that. But anyways, as you can see, it flipped on me and went straight up. At this point, I wasn't overly tilted, but I was kind of annoyed because, it was 50-50. It's part of the game. Not all of them are going to work. And I was a pretty big loss. It was 37 points. What's it, $740? But this was on, I have two PAs. This is on the other one, not from the evening session. So then I kind of put the phone away, focused on work. I was on a job site. And then I missed this. This would have been an interesting one because, again, it pulls back up into the past the 50%, into like this 60%. I know these labels are wrong, but whatever, same thing. And this little pull test again to keep going higher, and it fails. So I would have ideally probably tried to catch a short here, realistically, if this candle closed. And I probably would have gone down here. And again, you can see that the RSI is, it's playing out nicely. It was pushing down. But regardless, I missed that. And then I came back onto my phone right around here. And now, again, if you look at the 5 minute, it's a perfect example of two green candles for a pullback. Again, back into this zone. I was hesitant, however, because, again, just like the evening session, we kind of rejected this wick already. And at this point, I would not have been surprised if this kind of pushed back up. So again, we kind of saw our first push, then it pulled back down, and then a second one. And again, the RSI wasn't showing too much strength, in my opinion. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll take a short. And once it pulled down here and broke the 9 EMA, I took the trade. Maybe it was a little premature, but I'm also not the best trader, obviously. And instantly this thing rips up, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And I went pretty heavy into the drawdown, almost 30 points roughly. At this point, I put my stop loss here, and I was gonna say, okay, if it breaks this again, because it pulled back, then I'm out, and I'm gonna just hold it to the first line. Obviously, in my very lucky trading, it was okay. This seems a lot closer. Obviously, it's 5 points, but in this market with this true range, that's like a tick, and I couldn't believe that it almost took it and then came all the way back to my entry. So at this point, I was livid because that would have been $1,000. I think 55 points, which would have put me in profit of $300, and happy days. Probably would have closed the account, closed trading for the day. But it came up, and now I was really angry at this point because at this point, seeing how I rejected this wick, came back up, came back down into the zone. I expected this to just now take off and rip back up into this zone. But I held my stop loss up here still. I didn't move it break even, and I held it, had to come back down. And I think at this point, when it wicked up again, I just closed the trade. I said, I'm not playing this game, even though it went down. At this point, I realized my emotional capital was empty, and I said, I can't trade anymore because I was up $50 or $60 for this account, but there was just too much happening, and I said, if I keep chasing this, I'm going to end up probably blowing the account because I'm just really at that point tilted. So yeah, this trade worked out beautifully, but at the same time, with this rejection here, I was ready for it. It could have gone either way. So I was happy with taking it off. And yeah, tomorrow's another day. So I ended the day, I was probably up about 260 plus 60. I don't know. It's about, yeah, $350-ish roughly. So not a bad day overall. And that's it for today. So basically, that's all I do every day. I turn off the trading. I would have turned it off regardless after the second trade. I would have just said that's enough for me and gone on with my day. Yeah, come back for more. I'll try to do these every single day with the same setups and hopefully see some improvements. Thanks for watching.